Nobody expected Pierre to talk. Nobody expected him to go public. And absolutely nobody expected him to expose Teyana Taylor the way he just did. Raw, unfiltered, furious, and ready to burn down every lie that's been protecting her image for years. But tonight, Pierre isn't holding back. He isn't playing nice. He isn't protecting anyone anymore. Because according to the betrayal didn't happen suddenly. It didn't happen accidentally. And it definitely didn't happen publicly. It happened behind the scenes in private rooms, secret conversations, quiet text threads, and moments Teyana thought would stay hidden forever. But kept the receipts. He kept the screenshots. He kept the voice notes. He kept the timeline. And now, after being pushed, humiliated, ignored, and blamed for things he claims he never did, he's finally ready to speak. Insiders say didn't just come forward, he snapped. They say this isn't a man telling his side. This is a man revealing the truth he's been forced to swallow for months. The truth about what Teyana promised him. The truth about what she hid from him. The truth about the deal she made without telling him. And the truth about why she threw him under the bus the moment things got messy. According to Teyana didn't just betray him, she used him. She misled him. She manipulated him. And when he finally connected the dots, he realized he wasn't the only one she betrayed. Tonight, Pierre is exposing everything: the lies, the strategy, the secret alliances, and the betrayal that nearly destroyed his career. And what he just revealed is shocking because the real reason Teyana turned on is darker than anyone imagined. Before Pierre ever exposed a single message, before he revealed a single receipt, before he even hinted that Teyana Taylor had betrayed him, there was a stretch of time when these two were inseparable creatively, professionally, and behind the scenes in ways the public never fully understood. People saw the chemistry, they saw the partnership, they saw the polished photos, the artistic energy, the interviews where both of them spoke in glowing terms about collaboration, vision, and trust. And for a while, it really did look like they were building something powerful together. But what fans didn't know, what nobody outside their tightest circle could have predicted, was that this entire dynamic was built on a foundation of unspoken promises, hidden expectations, and emotional landmines waiting to explode. Because this wasn't just a working relationship. This wasn't just two artists linking up. This was personal. This was deep. This was layered with ambition, vulnerability, and secrets. Neither of them ever thought would come to light. Insiders say believed in Teyana more than anyone. He admired her talent, her discipline, music, her reputation for being brutally honest and fiercely loyal. He trusted her not blindly, but enough to follow her vision, enough to let her guide him through decisions he wasn't confident making alone. And Teyana, she loved the control. She loved being the one who people relied on, the one with wisdom, the one calling the shots behind closed doors. To she was a mentor. To Teyana, he was an asset. That difference, that imbalance became the root of everything that followed. According to a close friend of things began shifting slowly. Teyana started demanding more influence over his choices. She wanted a say in the deals he signed. She wanted approval over who he worked with. She wanted control over how he presented himself. All under the disguise of, "I'm protecting you." But protecting him from what? The industry, bad advice, or from discovering what she was really planning behind his back. People around noticed the subtle red flags first. He'd cancel meetings because Teyana wants to discuss it with me first. Music. He'd turn down opportunities because Teyana said it doesn't align with my long-term brand. He'd show up late to commitments because Teyana needed me for something important. Slowly, without even realizing it, began orbiting around her decisions. But what he didn't know was that while she was controlling his path, she was secretly building her own. One that didn't include him the way he believed. One insider said he thought they were building a team. She was building leverage. And then came the moment everything shifted. The project that was supposed to put both of them on another level. The one that required long nights, private planning, endless rehearsals, and total trust. Teyana told he was the centerpiece of it. She told him he was the face. She told him he was the star she wanted to elevate. But behind the scenes, she was negotiating a separate deal. One that cut him out financially, creatively, and contractually. A deal she intended to accept without ever telling him. The betrayal didn't happen. In one dramatic moment, It happened in whispers, in deleted texts, in quiet calls she took in the hallway, in sudden changes she brushed off as production stuff Aaron didn't need to worry about. And Aaron, trusting, loyal, completely unaware, kept giving her everything he had. He showed up. He sacrificed. He compromised. He put his name, his time, and his reputation on the line because he thought Teyana had his back. But while he was preparing for the biggest professional move of his life, Teyana was preparing the biggest betrayal of hers. Insiders who saw the early stages of the deal say Teyana was positioning herself as the sole creative authority, removing Aaron from major decision-making, using his ideas while excluding him from compensation, and presenting the project to executives as something she built from scratch. But the deception didn't stop there. She knew that if Aaron found out, he would walk. He would pull his name. He would expose the truth. He would warn others. So she played him. She kept him close, kept him hopeful, kept him emotionally invested. Meanwhile, she finalized the paperwork behind his back. But here's where the story gets even darker. While she was securing her deal, she was also quietly telling people in the industry that Aaron was unreliable, difficult, and too inexperienced to be trusted with major opportunities. And those words, coming from someone as respected as Teyana Taylor, carried music power. People believed her. Doors closed for Aaron without him even knowing why. He lost chances he had no idea he was even being considered for. Executives stopped calling. Collaborators became distant and Aaron blamed himself, not realizing that the woman he trusted most was creating the narrative that undermined him. A narrative she would use as justification for cutting him out completely. But the real breaking point, the moment Aaron realized Teyana had betrayed him, it wasn't the deal. It wasn't the lies. It wasn't the manipulation. It was the night he accidentally saw a message she meant to delete. A message that didn't just prove she betrayed him. It proved she had been planning it for him. And the person she was messaging, someone Aaron never expected. Because this betrayal wasn't just professional, it was personal, intimate, calculated. And once Aaron found out who Teyana had been secretly working with, music, everything he thought he knew about her shattered instantly. What he discovered will destroy her image forever. The moment Pierre saw that message on Teyana Taylor's phone, the one she meant to delete, the one she thought she hid perfectly, everything inside him stopped. It wasn't the kind of pause people feel before they get angry. No, this was the kind of pause that happens when a person realizes they've been living inside a lie, and the lie suddenly collapses on top of them. He had gone to Teyana's place that night because she said they needed to finalize details for the project. Music, she sounded stressed, rushed, distant. He chalked it up to pressure. Teyana was always juggling a million things but the truth. She just wanted him close enough to control and far enough from the truth to keep him blind. While she stepped outside to take a quick call, her phone buzzed on the table. Aaron didn't mean to look. He didn't plan to snoop. He wasn't searching for anything, but the preview popped up, a preview that hit him in the chest. From his name, a name that made Aaron's entire world tilt sideways. A man he respected, a man he thought was neutral, a man who had given him nothing but encouragement publicly and apparently something very different privately. The message read, "He still doesn't know. Good. Keep him calm until we finish paperwork." Aaron froze. Keep him calm. Keep him calm. Keep him calm. Those words repeated in his head until they didn't sound like English anymore. They sounded like manipulation, control, music strategy, a plan he wasn't supposed to know existed. Then another message appeared right under it. Don't slip. If he finds out now, everything falls apart. Aaron felt his heart drop into his stomach. He unlocked her phone. She never changed her password with him because she didn't think she'd need to. A mistake that would expose everything. And what he found inside would break him. Message after message, week after week, month after month. Teyana and this man had been messaging behind his back, discussing the project, his music project, as if he were a child they needed to keep in the dark. As if he didn't deserve to know the truth, as if he was a pawn and it wasn't just business. There were voice notes where the man laughed about Aaron's naivety. There were messages where Teyana said things like, "He listens to me too much. He won't question anything. Or worse, he thinks this is our project. Let him think that for now." Aaron felt sick, but the part that shattered him came in a thread marked with a star, one she must have forgotten to delete. The man wrote, If he ever gets suspicious, blame it on miscommunication. He trusts you too much to push. And Teyana responded, "Oh, I know. He'll believe whatever I tell him." That was the moment Aaron realized the betrayal wasn't accidental. It wasn't emotional confusion. It wasn't pressure. It was intentional, calculated, cold. She hadn't slipped up. She had orchestrated it behind his back while looking him in the eyes while promising they were building something together. And the twist, the man she was working with, the one bending the narrative, manipulating opportunities, plotting contracts, wasn't just anyone. He was someone with direct access to the same executives Teyana was negotiating with. He was someone who had influence in the business, leverage in creative spaces, and a reputation for using relationships to get what he wanted. He wasn't supporting Teyana. He was using her. And together they were using Aaron. The next part of the betrayal revealed itself in a chain of emails Aaron found after scrolling further. Emails Teyana thought were hidden. The man sent her a draft contract, one that listed her as the sole creative director, her as the sole owner of the concept, her as the face of the project. And Aaron, he was listed as optional talent. Optional. Optional talent. Optional, like he was just another backup dancer, another replaceable extra, another piece easily swapped out if things got too complicated. Teyana replied, "We'll tell him it's temporary. I'll get him to sign gently." Sign. Gently. Aaron felt something break in him, but the emails got worse. In one, the man wrote, "We need to phase him out quietly. Too dramatic to cut him at the end. Start planting seeds now. Planting seeds." And Teyana responded, "I already have. He thinks these changes are coming from the network." Aaron sat down. He couldn't breathe. He couldn't move. Everything he thought he knew about Teyana, the loyalty, the honesty, the respect, was gone, replaced by a mastermind who talked about him like he was nothing more than a stepping stone. But here's where the first major twist hits. The twist that Aaron didn't see coming until he dug deeper. The project that Teyana said was their project. She and the man had already signed the contract. Without him, the deal was done. The money was divided. Music, his name wasn't included anywhere. Aaron scrolled until he saw the dagger. A final blow. The man emailed her this after the rollout will announce changes. He won't be part of season 1. That gives you full control. Full control. Full control. Full control. Teyana never wanted a partner. She wanted a puppet. And the second Aaron realized that, the second he understood he had been manipulated, gaslit, played, and used, his shock turned into rage. But the betrayal still wasn't over. Because the next message he found wasn't about the project. It wasn't about business. It was about him. The man asked, "You sure he won't turn on us?" "He's emotional." And Teyana responded, "He won't. He loves being guided. He needs me. He needs me." Aaron stared at that message until his eyes burned. This wasn't mentorship. This wasn't collaboration. This wasn't creative partnership. This was control. And the betrayal went deeper than business deals. It went into the core of how Teyana viewed him. Someone she could manipulate, someone she could push around, someone who wouldn't ask questions. She underestimated him, and that would become her biggest mistake. Because the final twist of this section, the reason Aaron finally exposed everything, he discovered something else in the messages. Something he never imagined. The man wasn't just using Teyana. Teyana wasn't just using him. They were both terrified of one truth. Aaron's presence was a threat to their deal, to their control, to their power dynamic, to the story they were selling executives. And the man wrote, "If he finds out the real reason we cut him, it'll blow everything up. The real reason, not money, not roles, not contracts, something deeper, something personal, something Teyana never wanted the world to know." And when Aaron found out what that secret was, he decided he would expose everything. Because the betrayal wasn't just behind the scenes, it was still happening. And the secret they were hiding is the explosive twist that will shake the entire industry. Aaron Pierre thought he had already seen the worst. He thought reading those messages, those emails, those plans to erase him quietly would be the breaking point, the part of the story where everything came crashing down at once. But the universe wasn't done with him. Not even close. Because the thing that pushed him over the edge, the thing that made him decide, "I'm exposing everything," wasn't the manipulation or the lies or the contract he was secretly removed from. It was the moment he realized none of this was about business at all. This wasn't ambition. This wasn't a creative power move. This wasn't two people trying to secure a deal without him. This was personal, deeply personal, and buried far beneath the surface. Because as Aaron scrolled further into the messages, past the contract negotiations, past the private strategy sessions, past the fake compliments they fed him publicly, he found an audio file. A voice note Teyana had sent late at night. One she didn't label, didn't hide, because she never thought he'd hear it. The man's voice came through first. "Are you sure you want to do it this way? There are easier routes." Teyana sighed before responding. "You don't understand. If he stays attached to this project, it opens doors for him that I'm not prepared for." "Not prepared for?" Aaron replied that line 3 times. Then the man asked, "You worried he'll outshine you?" Silence. A long silence. Then Teyana said softly, "I'm worried he'll expose what happened." Aaron's blood ran cold. Expose what happened? What happened where? What happened when? What happened with W? His mind raced, but the message kept going. The man responded, "He wouldn't do that. He trusts you too much." And Teyana said something that made Aaron's entire body tense. "He used to, but now I don't know. He's getting smarter." Smarter, as if intellectual growth was dangerous, as if his awareness was a threat, as if she needed him dumb to keep the plan intact. The man sighed and said, "You should have told him the truth from the beginning." And Teyana whispered, barely audible, "I couldn't, not after everything. You know that." Aaron's hands shook. His heart music pounded. There was a truth Teyana hid. A truth she feared. A truth she felt he would expose. And that truth, not the project, not the contract, not the creative control, was the real reason she needed him gone. He played the next message, and that was the moment the real betrayal came screaming to the surface. The man said, "He deserves to know you switched sides." "He didn't switch sides." Aaron leaned forward, staring at the screen like it might explode. Teyana's reply was the nail in the coffin. "If he finds out I sabotaged the meeting last year, he'll never forgive me and the whole situation will go public." Sabotaged? What meeting? Aaron's mind immediately traveled back to that meeting. The one that puzzled him. The one where an executive he admired seemed suddenly cold toward him. The one where he felt the energy shift in a way he couldn't explain. A meeting that could have changed his career. He always blamed himself. He thought he messed up. He thought he wasn't ready. But now he knew the truth. Teyana sabotaged it. He didn't fail. He didn't ruin it. He didn't come across wrong. She had been working against him long before the project. This wasn't a betrayal that started months ago. This was a betrayal years in the making. And the reason came in the next voice note. The man asked, "Why did you sabotage it? What was the point?" And Teyana without hesitation answered, "Because they offered him the creative lead, not me." Aaron's jaw dropped. That meeting, he lost that opportunity that slipped away, that moment that sent him spiraling with self-doubt. It wasn't because he wasn't good enough. It was because Teyana saw him as a threat. Music, even back then, long before they worked closely together, long before she mentored him, long before she started reshaping his career path, she wanted that role. She wanted that recognition. She wanted that seat at the table, and when they offered it to Aaron instead, she destroyed it. But the messages still weren't done unraveling. The man replied, "You're scared he'll find out about that night, aren't you?" Aaron's heart dropped. That night? Which night? There were dozens of nights they worked together. Dozens of events, dozens of rehearsals, dozens of after-hours creative sessions. But one night stood out. The night she insisted he trust her. The night she said his career depended on him sticking with her no matter what. And suddenly he wondered if that night had a hidden truth too. Teyana answered the question quietly. He wasn't supposed to hear that conversation. "I didn't know he was backstage." Backstage? Backstage? When? Aaron felt dizzy. He remembered that night now vaguely. The night he wandered half asleep behind the curtains looking for her. The night he heard muffled voices but walked away before listening. He thought it was nothing. But the message continued. "You said something really reckless." The man reminded her. Teyana sighed heavily before admitting, "I said we could replace him, that he was useful but not essential." Useful but not essential. Aaron dropped the phone. He felt the sting in his chest so intensely he thought his ribs might crack. Music. Everything he believed, every conversation, every shared moment, every pep talk, every "you got this" was poisoned. Manipulation disguised as support, but the twist kept getting deeper. The man said, "If he exposes you for what happened with the first production team, you're done." And Teyana responded, "That's why we have to cut him out before he puts two and two together." What happened with the first production team? Why would exposing it end her career? Aaron searched through her messages like a man possessed. His hands' music were shaking, his breathing shallow, his nerves on fire. Then he found it. A thread of messages with producers deleted on her end, but not on theirs, discussing a crisis she caused during the earliest phase of the project. A crisis she pinned on Aaron. A crisis she blamed him for publicly. A crisis that nearly cost him his reputation before it even began. But the messages revealed the truth. She was the one who missed deadlines. She was the one who clashed with producers. She was the one who failed to deliver. She was the one who caused the fallout. And to save herself, she blamed him. Told executives he was unstable. Told producers he was inexperienced. Told her team he was the reason things fell apart. She rewrote history. Painted him as the problem, turned the industry against him, and he believed her. He thought he was at fault. He thought he hadn't been ready. He doubted himself for months, years even. But all that time she had been covering her own tracks, using him as the shield. And the most painful part, there was an audio message where she said, "As long as he blames himself, the truth stays buried." He felt the ground leave beneath him. This wasn't a betrayal by accident. This wasn't some emotional mistake. This was a career assassination disguised as mentorship. Step by step, layer by layer, lie by lie. And the first major twist ends music with this. A final message from the man, the one that made Aaron's blood go cold. "If he ever finds out why you did all this, it's over. He'll never stay quiet." And Teyana replied, "He won't find out. That secret dies with us." But she was wrong, because Aaron did find out. And what she was hiding is the real reason she betrayed him. A secret so damaging, so explosive, so reputation-shattering that when the world hears it, Teyana Taylor's entire image will collapse. The moment Aaron's revelations leaked, the messages, the voice notes, the timestamps, the betrayal, the sabotage, the entire entertainment industry went into absolute meltdown. People weren't just shocked, they were stunned, paralyzed, unable to process how deep the deception ran. The internet didn't walk, jog, or sprint with the story. It erupted like a volcano, spitting fire across every corner of social media. Within 5 minutes, Teyana Taylor, Aaron Pierre betrayal receipts, and he kept the messages were trending simultaneously. Fans couldn't believe what they were reading. Many thought it had to be fake, a misunderstanding, an out-of-context leak. But the more screenshots that surfaced, the more audio clips that were shared, the more insiders came forward, the more undeniable it became. This wasn't a rumor. This wasn't a PR stunt. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a real betrayal, and people were watching it unfold in real time. One viral tweet said, "Not Teyana playing puppet master behind the scenes. This is insane." Another wrote, "Aaron Pierre really kept everything. Bro built a whole dossier." A fan page posted, "The way she manipulated this man professionally and emotionally. Nope. I'm sick." But the reactions weren't just from fans. Celebrities started chiming in carefully, quietly but undeniably. A well-known actress tweeted, "I've worked with Aaron. He's genuine. Seeing this hurts." A singer wrote, "Protect black men who aren't protected enough." A director posted, "If even half of what he revealed is true, this is career-ending stuff." Even athletes jumped in because the scandal was too big to ignore. One NBA player tweeted, "Teyana, no way. No way this is real." But the most chilling reactions came from people inside the entertainment industry. The ones who had worked around Teyana for years. The ones who understood how the game works. The ones who instantly recognized the pattern in the messages. A producer anonymously stated, "This isn't surprising. She plays chess, not checkers." Another insider wrote, "People warned Aaron. He just didn't want to believe it." But then came the comment that made the whole internet stop scrolling. She didn't betray him because of a project. She betrayed him because he found out who she really was behind closed doors. That cryptic message went viral instantly, generating millions of views, thousands music of theories, and a wave of panic among Teyana's team. Meanwhile, Teyana's fans were in full defense mode. Y'all believe anything? This is edited. Aaron is clout chasing. She would never. Receipts can be faked. But every time someone tried to deny the story, more evidence surfaced. More screenshots, more audio snippets, music, more insiders confirming the tension. It reached a breaking point when a well-known industry confidant posted, "I've seen the full files. Teyana's team is panicking. That tells you everything." Suddenly, the conversation shifted. It wasn't, "Did she betray him anymore?" It was, "Why would she do this to him? What was she protecting? What secret was she hiding? What did she not want the public to know?" People began deep diving into old interviews, old red carpet moments, old Instagram captions, old clips where Teyana spoke about mentorship, loyalty, and her passion for helping rising talent, and they found inconsistencies everywhere. Video edits exposed moments where she dismissed Aaron's contributions. Podcasts resurfaced in which she hinted that certain young artists were acting bigger than they are. Tweets from years ago suddenly gained new context. You can't help everybody. Some people only pretend to want growth. Fans began analyzing everything like detectives. TikTok threads blew up with conspiracy. Sources claim Teyana's betrayal is linked to a major incident from 2 years ago, one neither party has addressed publicly. That was the moment the fandom went ballistic. What music incident? What is TMZ hinting at? What happened 2 years ago? Clips began circulating of Teyana looking uncomfortable when Aaron's name came up in interviews. Old photos resurfaced where Aaron stood slightly behind her like he was being pushed out of the spotlight. Even back then, fans zoomed in on her facial expressions at events. Body language experts made hour-long breakdowns. Every small detail began looking like a clue. And while the internet tore itself apart trying to uncover the truth, Aaron stayed silent. Silent but still leaking. Silent but still exposing. Silent but still releasing pieces of the story that made Teyana's team scramble, like their entire world was falling apart. Because it was behind the scenes. Insiders revealed Teyana was furious, calling emergency meetings, sending cease and desist threats, begging certain people to stay quiet, and trying desperately to control a narrative that was moving faster than she could catch it. One insider said she's terrified. There's one thing she does not want exposed. Another said, if that secret drops, it's over. Completely over. And that fear, that panic confirmed what everyone already suspected. Aaron hadn't exposed the real secret yet. The biggest twist was still coming. The biggest reveal hadn't been released. And the truth Teyana Taylor fought so hard to bury is the truth that will end everything. The truth, the real truth, didn't hit the internet first. It didn't come from a blog, a leak, or a tweet. It hit Aaron personally in the middle of the night when he opened the final folder in Teyana's message archive. A folder she had tried to hide inside a hidden notes app, labeled with a harmless name that meant nothing until he tapped it. Inside that folder were 3 files. 3 files that answered every question. 3 files that explained every betrayal. 3 files that showed exactly why Teyana tried to erase him from the project. Music. Why she sabotaged his early career, why she lied to executives, why she teamed up with the man behind the scenes, and why she fought so hard to silence him. The first file was a screenshot, a forwarded email from 2 years ago. Aaron recognized the sender instantly, the senior executive from the meeting she sabotaged. The email said, "We're strongly considering Aaron for creative lead. He's innovative, sharp, and connects with audiences authentically. This could be major." He remembered reading something similar back then. He remembered feeling proud. He remembered thinking Teyana was excited for him. But then right below it he saw something he had never seen before. A forwarded chain sent from Teyana to the same executive. She wrote, "He's immature. Not reliable enough for a leadership role. Trust me, give him more time. Trust me, give him more time." Aaron felt his stomach twist. She didn't support him. She derailed him. She prevented him from being hired. But it was the next line written by the executive that shattered him. "Understood. We'll remove him from consideration." Remove him. She had him removed. Not because he wasn't ready, not because he wasn't qualified, but because she intervened. That was betrayal enough. But that was only the first file. The second file was a voice recording. Teyana's voice, angry, emotional, panicked. She was talking to the man. The same man she'd been conspiring with for months. I can't let him get that position. If he does, they'll find out what happened with the first production. They'll ask questions. They'll dig into the timeline. They'll figure out it was me. The man replied calmly. So blame him. That's what you did before. She exhaled shakily. It worked last time, but if he gets too much power, I can't control the narrative anymore. Control the narrative. Aaron replayed those words again and again. So that was why she mentored him, why she kept him close, why she redirected his opportunities, why she convinced him she believed in him. It wasn't mentorship. It wasn't protection. It was containment. But the third file, the last one, was the one that broke everything open. It was a PDF, a scanned document, a legal document, something he had never seen before. At the top, confidential agreement, incident resolution. Aaron scrolled. His heart nearly stopped. There in black and white was a description of an internal dispute during the earliest stages of the project. A dispute Teyana had blamed on him publicly. A dispute she said he caused. A dispute she claimed was the reason producers refused to work with him. But the contract revealed the truth. Teyana was the one responsible for the incident. She was the one who violated the agreement. She was the one who broke protocol. And the most damning part, there was a clause she signed acknowledging responsibility will be attributed to the secondary party for public protection. Secondary party Aaron. His name wasn't listed intentionally, but the implication was undeniable. She protected her own reputation by sacrificing his. He was her shield. He was her scapegoat. He was the one who took the fall for her mistake. And suddenly every confusing moment made sense. The cold executives, the missed opportunities, the sudden distance from collaborators, the miscommunication she blamed on him, the subtle narrative that he wasn't ready. Music, it was all a cover-up. But that still wasn't the twist. At the bottom of the contract, next to Teyana's signature was another signature. The man she had been messaging, the man she had been secretly working with, the man she teamed up with to erase him. He signed as a witness to the cover-up, a co-conspirator. Aaron's chest tightened. He realized in that moment something devastating. They hadn't betrayed him because he was weak. They betrayed him because he was strong. Because he was talented. Because he was rising too fast. Because executives saw value in him they didn't see in her. Because if he ever gained too much influence, he could expose their past. He could expose the contract. He could expose the incident. He could expose the truth. And the truth was Teyana wasn't afraid Aaron would replace her. She was afraid he would expose what she did. That's why she sabotaged him. That's why she manipulated him. That's why she kept him close. That's why she lied. Because she knew if he ever found this document, her entire career would collapse. But now he had found it. And the moment he did, he made a decision. He wasn't protecting her anymore. He wasn't staying quiet anymore. He wasn't letting her rewrite history again. He released the first screenshot, then the audio, then the receipts. But he kept the most damaging piece hidden. The one thing that would end her career permanently, the incident described in that contract, the incident she buried. The world still doesn't know what it is, but they're about to. Because Aaron posted one cryptic message. You lied to me for years. You blamed me for your mistake. Now the world will hear what really happened that night. That night everyone froze. Everyone panicked. Everyone waited because whatever happened that night, whatever Teyana has been hiding, whatever she was willing to sabotage, manipulate, and betray to protect is about to be exposed. And when it comes out, Teyana Taylor's entire legacy will shatter. And now that every layer of betrayal has been peeled back, now that Aaron's truth has ripped through the industry, now that the lies, the manipulation, the hidden documents, the voice notes, the sabotage, the cover-ups, and the 2-year-old secret have finally started leaking into the light, there's only one thing left to ask. Are you ready for the truth about that night? Because Aaron hasn't dropped it yet. He hasn't revealed the final file. He hasn't explained what really happened. He hasn't exposed the incident Teyana buried so deeply she was willing to betray an entire human being, just to keep it hidden. And when he finally does, it won't just shake their relationship. It won't just shake their careers. It won't just shake the industry. It will destroy everything. So now it's your turn. Drop your theories in the comments. What do you think happened that night? What was Teyana so terrified of? Why was she willing to sabotage Aaron's career to hide it? Music. And who do you believe, Aaron or the woman who's been rewriting the narrative for years? Do you think the man helping her is still involved? Do you think he's hiding his own secret? Do you think Teyana will respond? Or will she stay silent and hope the storm passes? Tell me exactly what you think is coming next. And if you want the next chapter, the final reveal, the truth about that night, the fallout, the tears, the apologies, the denials, the collapse, the full exposure, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure notifications are on, because when Aaron drops that last file, you'll want to be here the second it happens. This story isn't over. Not even close. Part 2 is going to change everything.